Hello folks, well today we're heading down to Jomtien, and the purpose of this video today was I've had many requests from people that are considering coming here to Thailand to settle down, retire early or retire, and they're asking what sort of things that they might be able to do that will generate additional income for them here in Pattaya. Well, that's some of the areas I'm going to cover in this video. But before we go into that, I'd just like to say, here we're driving down to the beach, and I am in for an amazing surprise down here. Really am, and I'm not a great lover of Jomtien. It's condo city to me, but they do have they've always been reputed to have a nice beach. And they've done a lot of work down here on the beach, but they've also done now a lot of work on the central beach in Pattaya as well, which is looking tremendous at the moment. But what I found here when we eventually arrived, was something totally amazing, and you'll be shocked to see what it was. I thought, what a wonderful idea. This will really rock and roll and make people very happy to come here. But as I say, we're coming down here, and the traffic was unbelievable. It took us over an hour and a quarter to go 2 miles along here, and by the time we got out the car and got moving, it was virtually dark. In actual fact, that was me getting out the car. My wife carried on to park up the car, and the traffic was enormous and not so good. But I left Jomtien this particular day thinking, wow, this is something else, and this is going to come to Pattaya as well. And you'll see why. It was such a lovely, lovely atmosphere here that I thought this is going to take off. This is the new Pattaya emerging, and they've really got it in style. But now, today, some very, very bad news about Jomtien, and not so good for the condo lovers down there, and not so good for Pattaya actually. It's a bit of a shock, and I'll tell you about that later in this video. But just for now, we're going to creep along till we get parked somewhere down here, and it's a bit of a bugbear. So for now, I'm going to put up some drone footage that shows the amount of work that's going on this beach, and how they've extended it out to 50 meters, and the amount of work that's been done to. So this is what we found when we came to Jomtien. Quite a bit of the extended beach was covered with neon, with LED lights, and lots of people milling around, lots of places to sit down, dozens and dozens of food stalls along the pavement, and tables set up everywhere, many types of chairs, etc. What a wonderful atmosphere it was. You could buy a variety of food, you could have beer on the beach, you can sit and relax, and I thought, yes, this is the future. And this would really work in Pattaya as well, and it would change the whole aspect of Pattaya, making it a more family-friendly place again. But it was not to be, I think. However, let me just go on and answer the questions first about what I've been asked about getting additional income in Pattaya. I'd just like to say that it's not really easy, and if anybody is really thinking about it, then please drop me a message below or contact me, and I will be pleased to advise you. What I would definitely do is advise anyone about getting a bar and trying to set up a bar in Pattaya. If it's successful, then it's a very difficult one-off to do. So be careful about that. I've seen so many people lose everything through buying a bar, etc. Renting motorbikes, buying vehicles, etc., renting them out. A lot of expats do that, fronted by their partners, etc. But it's up to you. If you've got any ideas that you'd like to explore, drop me a message, and I'll certainly talk to you about it. It's the things to avoid actually, that's more concerning. So this wonderful thing here that's going on in Jomtien that I thought was the future for Pattaya, I hear just today, which is the following week, that last night they shut it all down and told everybody not to come back to the beach because, one, there'd been a huge amount of complaints about the traffic congestion getting down into Jomtien. Yes, we experienced that. And if I lived down there in one of the condos, taking me an hour and a half to drive a couple of miles, I would not be impressed, because that's what it took us on that particular evening. The weekends, it's swamped down here by people coming down to relax from Bangkok, and well, that just adds to the problem as well. Even though it's a very nice aspect to have, they're going to have to think it out, because it demonstrates that it would be popular to do both here and in Pattaya, but they'd have to do something about the traffic and have the ability to park up somewhere and have alternative means of getting down and onto the beach, even if it's walking a little bit. I don't think that would be too bad. So I'm going to wind this video up very soon. Thanks for watching. It was a lovely idea, this, I thought, and I really was inspired by the possibility of what it held for the future. And I think it's something. Here in Pattaya, you know, we've got a couple of very interesting parks that have been set up that are not yet in operation, that are going to be very family orientated. And they are changing the image of the whole town. And even the so-called bar owners that were so convinced that everything was going to come back to normal, unfortunately, I think they're beginning to see that Pattaya will never come back to what it was. The whole city is changing. To my mind, much for the better also. They still cater for all types, they still have the girly bars, etc. But they're tidying it up, and they're making the city a universal city for families and all kinds of tourists here. Predominantly here just now it's Indian tourists. There's a lot of Indian tourists. India has opened its gates to Thailand, and they are enjoying the beaches, etc. Obviously Russia with the problems, not so many, and with the problems in Europe, etc., and a lot of the financial problems that people are facing, the economies, etc. I think that's limiting everything, so that's going to be dominant in the future as well. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please, I'm looking to try and get to my 1,000. I'm only about 100 away now, so if you haven't subscribed, I'd be very appreciative if you would subscribe and ring the bell. And I will try to make a lot more interesting topics regular particularly for people that are considering living here, settling down here. And if you've got questions, as I said before, about anything about living here in Thailand, living here in Pattaya, get in touch. I think I'd be glad to help you if I can advise. So take care. Bye for now.
ที่ยอมให้เธอจากไปเห็นของเขาจริงๆ